London Broncos, Josh Ralph of the Newcastle Knights, Matty Barron from our Newcastle Thunder, Joe Burke of Oldham, Caleb Akins and Daniel Brown, both of the Penrith Panthers, Ant Walker from the Rochdale Hornets, Craig Kopchak of the Salford Red Devils, Mike Fozzard of the Sheffield Eagles, Morgan Evans, Conor Farrer, Andrew Gay, Christian Ruetz, all of the South Wales Ironmen, Regan Grace, Elliot Jenkins, Morgan Knowles, Ben Morris, Calvin Wellington, all St Helens, Rodri Lloyd of the Swinton Lions, Jake Elliott and Dan Fleming, both of the Toronto Wolfpack, Rhys Evans from the Warrington Wolves, Ollie Olds from the West Brisbane Panthers, Gil Dudson and Lloyd White, both of the Widnes Vikings, Ben Flower from Wigan Warriors and Phil Joseph from Workington Town. Yeah. Far easier than the ones that we'd be doing for Samoa, Fiji and so on, so I rather enjoyed that one.
I'm not sure if Ben Flower's going to be fit for that.
Well, it's going to be trimmed down, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
That squad, so perhaps he's even in an advisory capacity very useful to other less experienced Welsh forwards, you would think.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, Leigh forward Jamie Acton has said that he's sorry to have let everyone down after having his ban extended to 4 months. The 25-year-old was suspended for 9 games on Tuesday after admitting a charge of other contrary behaviour during the loss at Catalans on July the 1st. Acton appealed against the severity of the ban, but his case was dismissed by a Rugby Football League tribunal.
Good.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
good. I say. Good, absolutely. What a trivial appeal.
Completely.
Utter waste of time. Deserved to have it extended.
If they were really sorry, they wouldn't have been appealing around a circumstance like that.
No, it's such an absolutely reprehensible performance.
Yeah. For
them to go back and try and appeal it is just atrocious.
So the fact that he was, knocked off that last game of the Super League, the qualifiers that he would have been playing in.
Yeah.
He would have been available to play for. I think it's just desserts.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, hopefully they spend that time working with him to get his head right.
Yeah, rather than just reinforcing his behaviour with some of the statements we've seen before, they need to address it, because I think in a statement the chairman said about how he could become an England forward potentially, and I think
I agree wholeheartedly with
got that level of ability, but I don't think he could, because I don't know if these things could get sorted. I really hope.
No, I think all
they do.
So he gets they get sorted, he's got the potential to do it, because his on-field ability smacks of someone who could play international rugby league.
Yeah, and this will be the last
brain fast. This will be the last chance.
Last time we talk about him this year until maybe the season wrap-up shows. Yeah. And I do want to say for probably the last time, he's really impressed me when he's had the ball in hand and not been a scumbag.
Yeah.
Lets himself down.
Problem is he's unhinged. There you go. Right, that's the news taken care of then. Let's take a look back now at round 23 of Super League. Okay, Mark, round 23, and we start on Thursday night, where Warrington Wolves beat their near rivals and Derby nemesis, the Widnes Vikings, by 22 points to 6 in front of 9,895, refereed by Robert Hicks.
And we start the fan views with Fatboy_Rob. He said, Kevin Brown is a knob, that is all.
There you go. Brian Davies got in touch. He said, it was hard to be focused at work all day with such a tasty treat in the evening. Cheshire's top 2 rugby league teams facing off in front of a stadium packed with primrose and blue plastic seats. The atmosphere would be less electric and more like it is in space. Would these 2 cellar dwellers manage to score a try or complete a set of 6? Would Kev Brown do a Tom and not turn up? In the end, I think Wire won.
Lee Whitnell said, another low-quality game at the HJ. Feels like forever since I saw a good performance. Highlights were the contested scrum from Widnes, Curry's try-saving tackle, and the happy distraction of watching the Widnes fans chuck an inflatable penis around. Good to get the win, but fuck me, this season is hard work.
Very good. Wire Joe says, as a Warrington fan, I can only apologise for the 80 minutes of drivel that was just served up, but our quest to become the best-worst team in 2017 continues. The obvious highlight of the night was Peter Hiku, starting to settle in and always looking a threat. Now all we need is 11 or 12 decent players around him and we might go alright next year.
Tyler Kev fan said, Good to see the Noosa Kev starting to step up now. He is truly home. Middle Eight Shield is coming to the HJ. It's our year.
Yeah, a bit of silverware. Tyler Casfan says, pretty even game for 40 minutes, but once Wire went ahead in the second half, there was only one winner. Warrington are finding some form ahead of the Middle Eights and will be fine. Winners, on the other hand, have a crisis of confidence, and I can't see them getting enough wins to avoid the £1 million game.
And then we end with Scoops28 Mac. He said, if this is an indication of the standard of the Middle Eights, I don't think it's going to be compelling viewing.
No, I suspect not, Scoops. I suspect not. And look, let's give Widnes a bit of credit. They were winning in this one. So, at half-time...
And they maybe scored the best try in the game as well.
At half-time, if you're Dennis Betts, you're thinking, we've got this average-looking Warrington side on the rack here. And then they just did what they've been doing all season and shot themselves in the foot a little bit. Because Warrington aren't a great team, and everyone's alluded to that.
Widnes didn't turn up in the second half, did they? And Warrington didn't turn up for the last half of the second half either. Yeah. But Widnes had chances in the first half. They could have made more of the territory that they had, but they just didn't manage it. Joe Mellor, that break he made for his try on the last tackle, where he made a few big forwards look a little bit out of place in the Super League, was really great play. And a few other times after that, he made a few step-in runs and stuff. But without Reece Hambry there, who was so much in tune with him last season whenever he made those opportunities, if he's not close enough to the line himself, he needs support, and didn't quite have that.
Yeah.
So I think some of the instincts of some of the out of position Widnes players in the back line in this one didn't help.
Faltering, yeah.
But also they're just not good enough.
No, of course they're not.
And Warrington are pretty poor, but were able to score. The one where Hiku took the ball high out of the air, that was quite impressive. Yeah. Ben Curry went off with his injury, and the lad who...
Which is worrying. Have we seen how long that might...
Well, but obviously it was on the same knee.
Because I was tentatively excited to see him starting to come back.
There was a dangerous contact charge for the person who did it to him, and it's escaped my mind who it was who did the offence. But yeah, so I think a grade C has been handed out there.
Very good. Well, hopefully he recovers, because I would have liked to have seen him making England sides, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. For Warrington, there was a sense of things to come, maybe, with Peter Hiku playing in the centre, his preferred position, playing pretty well, having probably a third decent game in a row for him. So that's a promising thing for them, unless he keeps playing well and gets signed by an NRL side or something. But he was good. Matty Russell seemed to read him fairly well. They got the 2 tries that came down that side.
That flank is looking a bit more dangerous, isn't it? They're clicking, aren't they? So that's. But we're scraping the barrel for highlights, really, aren't we? Because you think back.
And then there was the fisticuffs at the end. That was not something or nothing. Young Jug Ears getting involved.
Just likes to stick his back. Do you know what? I quite like the kid for that, though. Fair play to the boy.
Most definitely. His namesake, Brad Walker, rather than Danny Walker, played decent in the first half as well, I thought, but I don't think he had the forward pack to control the game in the second half.
No, they had both Chapelouts playing, which always tells you that he's short on forwards if they've had to bring in the shit Chapelout from the reserve grade.
I do like Jay Chapelau, but Ted Chapelau hasn't exactly pulled up any trees.
No, far from it. But yeah, Alderson celebrating his new 1-year deal as part of that. Just patchy stuff from Widnes, isn't it? That's the problem. That all year they've just not got clicking attacking wise. We've always said they've had workaday forwards, and that whilst they lack something in dynamism, they do a reasonable amount. They just don't have anything going on. Other than
7 games last season and the odd moment from Brown or Mellor, when have they actually had anything going on in attack since they came back into Super League in 2012?
True. But it's been found out a bit more, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah,
that's the thing. And they're gonna. So, do you think they're gonna? Right, we're ahead of the split now, so it's a bit early to say whether or not they're going to be in the £1 million game. But if push comes to shove, what do you reckon?
I wouldn't be shocked if they were.
No, I'd be far from
but I think they're good enough to grind out wins against Halifax, against Featherstone, against London. I think they're probably professional enough to do that as well. And if they get Rangi chasing, it gives them a little bit of quality that they really miss if they can get people like Hambry back.
That's really key to them, isn't it? Getting these attacking individuals
Yeah, because
going again, because rain change made a big difference to them.
If they're getting a bit of a break from having a bit more of an attacking game that's forcing repeat sets and that sort of stuff, then the forwards maybe get taken out of the equation a bit. Plus, those forwards are more than capable of being a match for the part-time players they'll come up against in two of their fixtures.
Yeah.
And I think them against Hull KR will be a competitive fixture. Them against Lee will be a competitive fixture. It's between those three sides.
Yeah, those are the games you want to watch, aren't you? That little three-way round robin. Okay, what did the stats tell us on this one then?
Well, possibly the most interesting stat from this qualifiers preview was that it had the most dummy half runs in a game so far this year, with 61, split 31-30. I don't necessarily think that always makes for an entertaining game, but that was a stat there. Other than that, Wyre won well on the attacking numbers, which meant they deserved their second half dominance. 9 more tackle busts, 9 more successful offloads, 5 more clean breaks, 408 more metres, in a pretty high 1657 total metre count actually there.
Fantastic. Individually then, who stood out for the Wolves?
Matty Russell with 2 tries, 204 metres, 2 clean breaks. Peter Hickey with a try assist, 165 metres. Andre Savelio worked really hard in this game, 44 tackles, 13 mark tackles, 5 tackle busts, 2. Ryan Atkins, 5 tackle busts, 162 metres, 2 clean breaks, 3 successful free for
sexual offloads.
And didn't celebrate the no try, which is growth, personal growth. Stefan Ratchford.
How old is he, by the way, for this personal growth?
Stefan Ratchford as well, 154 metres.
Anybody do anything for Widnes?
Well, quite a few players did some nice things. Joe Mellor, along with his try, had 10 tackle busts and 2 clean breaks. Obviously, palming people off as he stepped through there. Hep Cahill, 47 tackles, 14 mark tackles, 125 metres. He's a great man to have in your dream team. Matt Whitley, 48 tackles. Jay Chapelhow, 46 tackles, 10 of which were marker tackles, so that big man worked hard. And Ed Chamberlain, 123 metres, playing out of position on the wing, but not doing terribly.
Not at all. Okay, so to Friday night then, over at the KCOM. Hull FC were 14 points to 10 winners.
No, it was Tom Armstrong who played on the wing. Ed Chamberlain played. One of the 2 centres played on the wing. It was missing the other one. They both played okay.
I'm out of touch with,
but didn't do much.
with the deeper parts of Widnes' squad. Friday night then, Hull FC 14, Huddersfield Giants 10, a victory that secured Hull FC third place going into the split, in front of 11,467, refereed by Chris Kendall.
Yeah, Brian Davies said, listen to it on the radio, good first 25 minutes from Hull, then Ellis Watts and Minicello went off and Giants got back to 12-10. Second half was a slugfest with one error after another. Eventually FC got a penalty to make it 14-10, but it was dull. The win was all that mattered, though, for FC.
There you go. Scoots28 Max says, the first 20 looked like we were in for a good match. Then at 12-0, we stopped playing. Huddersfield horrendously offside every play, which slowed us down, but still completion and decision-making was terrible. Griffin again played well, as did Watts. Nobody else ran into the ball. Tag looks injured. Our only kick option seems to be to kick it to Fanua. A little concerned ahead of next week.
Mark W said, a game with 2-0 second half is never going to be the best. Flashes of magic from both teams ruined by a high error count. Not a lot separated us in the first half. In the second, we barely had any possession, but good defence kept Hull out. Our fans were so happy to be safe for 2018, we didn't stop singing all night. Ended up with such a good atmosphere, we kept forgetting we were losing. Oh, and something ref's fault.
Yes, there you go, nice one. Rich Langley says 2 points, but also too many errors. We need to smarten up if we're going to make a serious bid for grand final, semi-final, let alone a home one. There's a lot of bagging the ref going on, but I thought he was inconsistent for both sides, and he never knocked on or dropped the ball. Once we are past this injury crisis, we'll be good. Prayers go out to Leeds, who have picked up our curse, but I'm guessing their version lasts just 24 hours.
Yeah, this ref stuff keeps popping up, doesn't it?
Well, I always admire people who go, the ref bought.
If one side was offside, I would almost certainly guarantee the other side was offside, but you tend to only watch the opposition's defensive line, not your own.
Yes, you do.
Rich, Joshua's granddad, said, another game which we did our best to let slip. Started well and then went into a shell. Too many unforced errors. Interesting calls by Mr. Kendall regarding challenges in the air. Would appear you cannot jump against a Huddersfield player. 2 clear-cut facts are evident from the game. 1, we are a better team with Gaz Ellis on the park, and 2, Kendall is just not good enough to be a Super League referee.
There you go. AK Steel 69 says, after a 3-game clusterfuck of losing matches, Hull got back on the horse with a narrow win over Huddersfield. But what an ugly horse it was. On a scale of ugliness, it was somewhere between Shane McGowan of the Pogues and the Elephant Man. Radford admitted afterwards they've gone back to basics. They need to go through novice, competent, advanced and expert levels this week to stand a chance of beating Leeds.
Well, they were all busy at old Gaptooth's wedding, weren't they?
He's not Gaptooth anymore though, Mark.
No, he's
had some cosmetic dentistry, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he had to for the photo.